Welcome to the East China School District Candidates Forum for 2014. My name is Paul Dingeman. We are here on Wednesday, October 22nd to interview and record questions for the candidates who are running for school board. We have 4 of the candidates of the 5 have joined us this evening. We thank them for doing that. Just a couple business things before we get started with the questions and the answers. We will be rotating the questions. We've had a draw before the television show started where the first question will be given to the first person, then the second question to the second person, and down the line, and we'll rotate equally. The candidates will be allowed a 2-minute opening statement. Then we'll go to questions, and then at the end of the questioning, we'll go to a 1-minute close to wrap up. A couple other reminders. There is a East China ballot proposal for millage for purchasing of school buses. That video will, which was produced by the district, will air at the completion of this program. One other quick thing before we start. Let's take a look at the ballots. We'll have, these are sample ballots, and we would remind the viewers that each one in each municipality or township is just a touch different, but the candidates for the school board are on the back. So when you go into your polling place, make sure that you take your ballot, complete the voting on the front, turn it over, and about halfway down on this one, which is the City of St. Clair general election, you see the 5 candidates, and so you'll vote there. The millage issue for the school district is also on the back side, so you'll want to review that. And that's about it. So let's get started. Let's opening our rotation with Todd Distelrath. And Todd, if you'll talk to us for a couple minutes about who you are and why you want to run for East China School Board.
Absolutely, and thanks, Paul, for having this tonight. I appreciate it. Again, my name's Todd Distelrath, and I live in St. Clair. I've been a lifelong resident of the East China School District. I have 3 students in the East China School District currently, and I'm also an educator. I'm a middle school principal, and I know the importance of this job, and I know how important it is for my kids and all of the students of East China that we do our very best for them. And I feel like, based on my experiences, my qualifications, that I'm a good person to do that, and it's an important job. Based on my experiences here and in education, I know the demands for students and teachers and parents. I understand the challenges, and I know it's not always about the having all the answers, but asking the right questions. I know there's some difficult things to work through as a board, and I know that every decision that the board makes will impact students, parents, community, have an impact on a variety of people. And I know my experiences as an administrator help me to understand those influences and be able to make good decisions to get us as a school district where we want to be. And so I look forward to the challenge, and I'm really doing this for the students of East China.
Okay, thank you. Patty Bebuck.
Thank you, Paul. Good evening and welcome to the Candidate Forum. I am Pat Bebuck and have lived in St. Clair County for 42 years. In 1972, I graduated from Central Michigan University, receiving a Bachelor of Science degree in education with a major in business education and a minor in geography. In 1996, I earned my master's in the art of teaching from Marygrove College. My teaching career began at Holy Cross High School, which is now known as Cardinal Mooney, and was there for 6 years. After having my 2 children who did graduate from East China schools, I was hired by the East China District in 1980 and continued there until June 2012. During that time, I served on numerous committees, including district curriculum, district school improvement, district vocational and career prep, and district technology committee. I represented the district at several state and local conferences. I was on various committees at Marine City High School. I was junior and senior class advisor, which gave me the opportunity to do 22 proms, 22 powder puffs, and 22 graduations. I was a ticket taker at the various athletic events. I served under 7 principals and 4 superintendents. I was a union representative, union secretary, union treasurer, and I was part of the teacher bargaining team. Because of my various classroom and extracurricular activities, I will bring a wealth of knowledge and history to the school board. If I'm elected, my priority will always be the students of the East China School District.
Thank you. Dee Shaw.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Colleen, for bringing this event about. I've been asked, why do I want to be on the school board when I have no children in school? Data from the 2010 census shows that Michigan residents, only 23.7% of the residents are younger than 18. Many of our citizens have grandchildren in school. We all need to be supportive of, interested in, and involved in the education of our children. They're the citizens of the future. Everyone has a stake in education. We need an educated population. I've been a teacher. I still consider myself one, and I'm proud to say that. A local district assistant principal and principal, a curriculum director, assistant superintendent, and superintendent. Prior to accepting a superintendency, I worked at the Michigan Department of Education as a consultant. During my tenure in that position, I was one of 12 to 15 consultants selected by the then State Superintendent of Public Instruction to assist districts around the state in passing millage elections. He lovingly referred to us as his SWAT team. From Pontiac to Menominee, we worked to assist districts in passing those millages in over several dozen. I'm proud to say we batted 1,000. I retired 4 years ago from Saginaw Valley State University, where I was an associate professor and where I administered a teacher certification program at the McCombs Center. As a private consultant, I have worked in Michigan, several other states, and Canada with business people, teachers, administrators in solving problems, setting goals, and evaluating efforts. In addition, I served 2 terms on the Holly Area School District Board of Education. As a board member, we made many difficult decisions. I understand that we have issues and problems to be solved in this district. My background and experience may be unique for a board candidate, but I believe they make me a good choice for a position on our school board. Thank you.
Thank you, Dee. And John Folsky.
Yes, I'm John Folsky, running for the board. First, I'd like to thank Colleen Stover and her group and Channel 6, Paul Digman, for informing the public about the candidates running for the East China School District. I'm 68 years young, been on the board for 17 years. Prior to that, I served 8 years on the Anchor Bay School Board. I sincerely desire to continue to serve as a board member to better educate the community's children. I served my country in the Air Force Reserve for 6 years and retired from 36 years with AT&T as a service technician. I am now in my 45th year of refereeing high school sports. I also volunteer as a lunch buddy program at Palms Elementary School and regularly assist the needy people in the community through East China ECCO family bookstore, a nonprofit bookstore in New Balmer, and I enjoy farming. My family and I attend the Crossroads Community Church and a member of the AT&T Pioneers and the Knights of Columbus. Why am I running for another term on the East China School Board? I want to be a part of the decision-making process and run the school district while keeping in mind that the best is for the students. I will continue to work my way to move the district forward. I have served on several board-appointed committees over the years, from finance, millage, personnel, building usage, etc. I also served as 17 years on the Parent Advisory Committee for the board. The following are a few things that I'm proud of this school district. A measuring stick I use is that we have good test scores at all grade levels. Graduation rate is almost 100%. Over 50% of our students are involved with extracurricular activities. And then also this district, we offer several different kind of course offerings to the students that is well-rounded. Thank you for your time.
Very good. Okay, let's get to the questions now. We've had questions submitted to the committee, and we analyzed them, or pooled them all together and came up with some questions for you. Let's begin with number 1 to Todd. What do you believe the role of a school board member is with regard to setting district policy and day-to-day operations of the district? Todd?
I think it's the school board's job to challenge and support the school. We have a superintendent whose job is to oversee the district and the operations and the vision of the district. And I think it's the school board's job to both support that and to challenge that, to make sure that the checks and balances and making sure that the community is represented, that the needs of the community are voiced. It's the system that we have set up in that way. We're only going to be as good as we can be when we work together and solve our problems together with the board and the administration of the school. And it's the job of the board to oversee that and support that and to be the voice of the community as well.
Okay. Same question to Patty Bebuck. What do you believe the role of the school board member is in regard to setting district policy and the day-to-day operation of the district?
I think it's up to the school board to set district policy and make sure that those policies are in the best interests of the students, employees, and community. And I think that the board needs to continue to look at those policies if they need to be updated and add any new policies when necessary. The day-to-day operations, I feel that's what the school board has hired the superintendent to do, and then in turn, it's the superintendent's job to report back to the board, to employees, to the community, the information that's needed about running the school district.
Okay. Dee Shaw?
I know by law that the Board of Education and the board sets the policy. It's up to the district superintendent to operate the district on a daily basis. We need to, as a board, work on those policies and be knowledgeable about them, revise them where necessary, and work with the superintendent at his direction to make sure that those policies are followed. I told my board as superintendent that I really felt the best policy was the Holiday Inn policy of some time ago, and that's that the best surprise is no surprise. So we need to work together, not only as a board, but also working with the superintendent and the administrators.
Okay. And John Folsky?
Setting district policy is working with the superintendent and the superintendent working with the board to make changes. So it's like a two-way street. And the day-to-day operation of the district is up to the superintendent and administration. It is the board responsibility to oversee it, so it's a check and balance system out there.
Okay. All righty, we're going to move to the second question now, and we'll begin with Patty Bebuck as soon as she puts her sign back up.
Oh.
I want everybody to be able to see who you are. Okay, the second question. What do you know about and how important do you believe the following programs are to students' educational opportunities? Advanced placement courses, STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics courses, visual, performing, and applied art courses, and technology or vocational courses. Patty?
3 of those 4 areas were in place when I was teaching high school. The STEM program, this is the first year that STEM has been offered at the high school level. After talking to the teacher, I became a little more informed about STEM at the high school level as opposed to the middle school level, which I believe has been in place. This, I believe, is the 3rd year for that. what I do know, because of teaching high school, we have a very well-rounded curriculum offering the advanced placement, offering STEM, offering visual and performing arts, and the technology and all the money that the district has put in, and obviously the community is supporting our technology program to afford us to have all the smart boards. The only thing that is difficult, and it's because of what the state requires and what the district requires for graduation requirements. And starting with the class of 2016, they are required to have 2 years of a foreign language. So now students have anywhere from, they need 22 credits to graduate. They take 6 classes each year for 4 years, 24 credits, but they need 22 to graduate. My only concern is that it's very, very difficult for a student to take classes in all those areas due to a 6-period day. And this has been discussed many, many times about, you know, what can we do with the 6-period day? We talked about, you know, maybe shortening the class periods, adding a 7th-hour day. Now this was just all talk within our building. But every time you start doing that, it's going to cost more money. I wish there was some way that our students could be introduced to all these areas. Now I know in some of the areas, like the visual and performing arts, you have to have 1 class in that particular area in order to graduate. I know the technology or vocational, I believe you have to have 1 credit in that. Advanced placement classes obviously are for those kids that want to take the higher level classes and who plan on going to college. And just because you're going to college doesn't mean that you have to take advanced placement classes. But it's very difficult for a student coming into the high school as a 13 or 14-year-old to plan out their 4 years. I mean, as a 13 and 14-year-old, they don't even know what they are going to wear tomorrow or eat for lunch or whatever. So I wish there was some way that we could offer more hours in the day.
Okay, same question. I'll repeat it because it's a long one. Question number 2 to D, what do you know about and how important do you believe the following programs are to student educational opportunities? Advanced placement courses, STEM, visual, performing, and applied arts, and technology and vocational courses. D?
I think they're all important. Advanced placement courses for many students who want to go to college are very, very not only important but helpful. My niece began and has completed a 4-year college degree in 3 years, and she says it's basically because of the advanced placement classes that she took. I know that STEM started at the middle school with a grant, and congratulations to the district for applying for that grant. It was then matched by a local business, and as Pat said, moving into the high school. I think the visual and performing arts are also important. It's difficult to get all those things in, but the brain research talks about the importance of those kinds of activities, if you will, for students. Technology and vocational classes, I know that they are offered at the area technical centers, but there aren't always that many openings for students who might be interested. Every student doesn't want to go to college, and maybe shouldn't, but they need to have some skills to enable them to get a job. So I think they're all important.
Okay, very good. Mr. John Folsky, same question. What do you know about and how important do you believe the following programs were?
To reach every student, we have to offer a variety of courses. Education is not a one-size-fits-all. Students have different strengths and weaknesses, likes and dislikes. We need to try to help as many students as possible to reach their goals. So I'm
Okay, very good.
100% behind all these programs.
All right. Moving along to D, we'll get this question first.
I haven't answered that question yet.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
You want to answer it?
I'll say a couple.
Okay, all right. I wasn't trying to cut you off. I got bad. I needed to go to a tech school to work these things. Sure. All right, so same question to Todd down on the end since he's so loud and mouthy there. What do you know about and how important do you believe the following programs are?
I agree with everybody that the programs are very important. You know, we're at a time in education where it's competitive, And if we're not offering these programs, then students are going to find ways to get to these programs in other places. We also are in a business of providing the best that we possibly can provide to our students. And if we're not offering great programs for them, then we're not offering the best for them. We're not putting them in a position to be successful. For me, I want my kids, and I want every student in East China to have every opportunity that they could possibly have. You know, and like Dee said, it might not be college, but it might be, and to go to any college that they want to go to, or to have any outlet for their future success. And by offering STEM and advanced placement and technology courses and visual and performing arts courses, we're opening the doors for all of our students, like John said, all their different interests and abilities. And so it's really important that we offer those things and meet the needs of all of our students, and make sure that whatever future is possible for them, that they can achieve it.
Okay. Going back to Dee now.
Thank you.
Do you have the necessary vision and courage to make difficult decisions that often fall to board members?
I believe I do. I've had experience doing those kinds of things, and it definitely takes courage, particularly when you have to make cuts. I accepted a superintendency in a district where one of the first things I had to do was cut 12% out of the budget. And it wasn't easy. And I went home tearfully every night asking myself, how are we going to do this? Working with the board, we made some very tough decisions, and I believe I can do that.
Okay, very good. John Folsky, same question. Do you have the necessary vision and courage to make difficult decisions that often fall to the board members?
Yes, I do. First, I look at the situation, the pros and cons, then check to make sure that are there any other options out there before I vote on the situation at hand.
Okay. Moving along to Todd.
Absolutely. I think as a parent in the district, as a former teacher in the district, as a current school administrator, as a member of the community, I can see every issue from a variety of points of view, and also be able to see the impact that any decision that we make will have on those different groups. I understand things will be difficult, and it's important that we make the right decision on these things. It's a very important job that we have in front of us. And yes, I'm very comfortable with the fact that I have the ability to face those issues head on, and to bring experiences that will help make good decisions.
Okay, and Patty, do you have the necessary vision, courage to make difficult decisions?
I wouldn't be running for school board if I didn't think that I did. I feel that my role as a school board member is to make decisions based on facts. And again, I can't stress enough what is important and what is best for kids. We need to use the resources that we have to offer an outstanding curriculum and be a leading school district in the county and surrounding counties. We want our students to be given every opportunity to make themselves competitive when they do leave our school district. I hope that all school board members are of the belief that educating students is the priority of this district.
Okay, now we're going to go to Mr. John Folsky with the next question, which says, between 85 and 88 cents of every dollar of the district budget is spent on personnel, wages, and benefits. Under what circumstances, if any, would you support reducing employee wages or further contracting of non-instructional services?
In running a school district, the big issue right now is money. By law, the board must have a balanced budget. Example, if we take in $39 million, we have to spend less than $39 million. About 10 years ago, when negotiating a contract, I asked myself, what is it going to cost the district? Since then, I asked myself, what is the savings going to be for the district? Times have changed. And the other section part of that, if it comes down to privatizing, I first look at how it will impact the students, the employees, and the savings to the district. Are there any other options out there to be considered?
Okay. Mr. Distelrath, same question. Between 85 and 88 cents of every dollar of the district budget is spent on personnel wages and benefits. Under what circumstances would you support reducing employee wages, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, we have to find a balance for sure. As John said, we have to deal with the fact that we get X number of dollars and that's all we get. And so we need to be efficient with the spending of that money. But it's also important that we make sure, as I said earlier, that we provide the best that we possibly can provide. And so we have to be careful not to cut too much so that we are, making ourselves weaker or worse than we were before. It's important that we have the best teachers and the best staff that we possibly can have, and that we attract those kinds of people, and that we keep those people in our district. And so that's one important part of it. And then, of course, the other part of it is making sure that we understand that there's give and take and checks and balances to this, because in the end we're dealing with the financial funding system that we have, and we're tied to that.
Patty Biebuck, would you support reducing employee wages or further contracting non-instructional services?
The 85 to 88 cents, I think when people read that, they go, that's just way too much. But that's pretty much what's in line with most school districts in the area. That's not out of line for that. And I don't know if people are aware, but beginning in 2001, the district really started making reduction to control the revenue and expenses. And back in 2001, when they started doing this, it was a lot easier. And it didn't really affect the classroom. And I know over the years, that's what the board has tried to do, is to not affect the classroom, keep the integrity of the classroom. But unfortunately, it's gotten more difficult as the years have gone on. Not as many people retired. Back in 2004, when we had a buyout, we had 54 people retire, and we hired back 34. And since that time, I'm not quite sure how many of those 34 are still here, because throughout the years we've had a number of layoffs. Because of the challenge that we have with finances, that word privatization has now crept its way into the East China School District. And I know that all of the employee groups have made concessions. Every single one of them has. And if I'm on the board, I would like to think that we could continue somehow to bargain with those groups and hold off privatization. And I think the board has tried to do a good job of that. I mean, we don't want to have an emergency manager come in here and take over our districts. We have to be fiscally responsible.
Okay. Just under the time limit, too. Pretty good. Okay. Dee Shaw, same question. Want me to repeat it, or?
No,
You're
I'm
set?
fine,
You're all
thank
set?
you. 85% is pretty much a national average, the amount of a district budget that is spent on salaries and fringe benefits. We do have to have a balanced budget, and I know that the district wants to have a balanced budget, and the state requires it. And we don't want to have a financial manager have to come into the district. Reducing employee wages is anathema to me. I don't want to see that happen. Before I made any decision on any of those things, reducing wages, looking at privatization, I'd want to make sure that I had all the facts and that that was the best thing for kids. That's the bottom line for me. What's the best decision for the students of the East China School District?
Okay. And John, you started that one, I believe.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Let's go to question number 5. If elected, how do you plan on becoming an advocate for the district, and do you see yourself participating in building and district activities and events? Todd?
Yeah, I think as far as participating and being involved, it's helpful that I have students in the district, so I'm often involved in their activities as much as I possibly can be, and in the community. It's, you know, where it's possible for me to be involved, I certainly want to be involved in those kinds of things. And as far as advocating for the district, I want to be a voice for the school district, and at the state level, making sure, Eric Longuski always talks about making sure that the state representatives hear from us and hear what we have to say, and advocate for our district and the funding and those kinds of things. And I think a school board member can absolutely do that, to be that voice. It's a great position to advocate from. And also just making sure that within the community, that the community knows the great things that are going on within the district, to be a voice of celebrating those things. I certainly would like to do that. And also being the voice of helping people understand, you know, the issues at hand. Sometimes people, it's very easy to just let other people deal with it, and to maybe not even be aware. And to help be out in the community and help people to be aware, I think is another important part of my role here. And so I embrace both of those things, being the advocate and being the voice.
Patty Bebach, if you're elected, how do you plan on becoming an advocate for the district? Do you see yourself participating in district events?
Almost definitely on the district events. And last year I was invited back to speak at the National Honor Society. So, and I've been at a couple football games, and I make myself visible out there, and I think that's what the community has voted you to be. Another way that we can be an advocate, and I know it's hard times, but I think we need to emphasize all the good things that our district does, because it's so easy to, you know, just keep pounding at the board, all the negative things. And, you know, and the changes. I was just so shocked at the Facebook blow up about the district, or not the district, Marine City Commission changing Halloween. And it seems to me that there was a lot of negative energy focused on that, and blaming the football team and the district. Again, people didn't have the facts. So I think we need to advocate for positive programs, whether it's athletics, whether it's academics, whether it's the arts, and that should be our focus.
Okay. Dee Shaw?
I think an advocate for the district is someone who goes out into the district, talks to people, and although for a lot of years I thought we shouldn't get involved in politics, but we have to. When Phil Pavlov was here and held one of his office meetings at Roasted's, I made sure I was there at 7:30 to talk to him about what's happening in school districts and what's his plan. What are some things that they're going to do? I'm an advocate for the district in Lansing. Wherever I meet with people, I'm a football fanatic, so I go to football games, and I was very disappointed that the St. Clair Saints lost the homecoming game, but I will do whatever it takes to be an advocate and an important person within not only the board, but the district and the community.
John Folsky, do you see yourself participating in building and district activities?
I have always tried to be involved in different district events at all grade levels in the district, even before my 17 years on the school board. I believe my strength is I'm be able to get to talk to people, and I can get along with people.
Okay. This is question number 5, and we'll begin with Patty Bebach. And how do you imagine the district will look like in 5 years? What's your vision?
My vision is that enrollment has now leveled off, that we're no longer in declining enrollment. Hopefully, funding has increased. I'm hoping that other districts will be visiting our district to study new programs that we have instituted, our STEM program. Because I think when you institute a new program, it takes a good 3 years before you can get it up and rolling and get most of the kinks out of it. I'm hoping that in 5 years we'll be hiring new employees and just being on the right track, continue to be the leading school district in St. Clair County.
Okay, Dee Shaw, your vision?
I tend to be a dreamer. At one time, I saw myself as the U.S. Commissioner of Education. Obviously, I didn't make that. But I'm hoping that the district in 5 years will have an increase in student enrollment, will, as a result of that, have more funds to expend on the instruction of our students, that we'll have programs that will cause people to want to come and see, what are you doing? Just like they've done in many other school districts, not only in the state, but in the country. There was a time when everybody went to Cherry Creek School District in Colorado because of the innovative kinds of things that they were doing. I'd like to see that in East China.
Mr. John Folsky,
Yes.
your vision.
First, we must have a balanced budget in the 5-year plan, and we need to keep up with the times and the education as we prepare for the future, because education is always changing. We must keep up with the times.
Okay, Mr. Distelrath, your vision?
I agree that having a vision of us being the best in the county and hopefully even beyond is the vision we need to have for our students. And it starts with the programs that we offer. We need to make sure that we're doing what we can. I understand the financial, and if I can dream the same way that some other people are dreaming, that we're going to have more students here, that's going to help us. But absolutely that we're offering the best programs that we can offer, and that they are top of the line programs. I think Pat and Dee and John did a great job with the question as far as people are going to want to come and see us and see what we're doing and see what we're all about. And you're going to read in the paper about the East China schools and the great things that they're doing, and their scores are up at the top, and that's got to be what we shoot for. And I feel very confident that we can get there in the next 5 years.
Okay, we're about 36 minutes into the program so far, and that goes through the series of questions that we set up. So we'll start with the closing statements from each candidate now, and in the same rotation, we'll start with Dee Shaw this time, and you'll go for a minute.
Thank you. You've heard my responses and my comments. There are many changes coming for us in the East China School District, the Board of Education, along with the staff and the community. We all know that change is a difficult process. The only person who welcomes change is a wet baby. I know how to navigate the rough waters that face our district. I believe I'm qualified, ready, willing, and able to be involved in making those difficult decisions for the benefit of the entire East China District. Not just the north, not just the south. I guess I'm a middler because I discovered I live about in the middle of the district. I hope I can count on your support on November 4th. Please vote, and vote also on the millage for buses. Thank you.
Mr. Folsky, you've got a minute.
Yes, in closing, I have been blessed and honored to serve the community for the past 17 years as East China School Board member, and look forward to the future, and just remind voters to go out and vote on November 4th for this candidates, for all of us as candidates, and also for the bond bus issue. It's very important.
Mr. Distelrath, 1 minute.
Thank you. I'll just emphasize again the fact that I think my background as a lifelong resident, a father of students in the district, an 18-year educator, teacher, coach, assistant principal, that I've got a lot of great experiences to bring into this, and definitely have a heart for it as far as wanting the best for my kids and my kids' friends and all of the students in the East China School District. I mean, that's what it's all about, and I'm confident that I have the ability to help this district achieve the vision that we talked about, and I care a lot about it, and I look forward to the opportunity. Thanks.
Pat?
Our school board for over a decade has been put in a position to make difficult decisions during difficult times, which continue today. They have been elected by you, the voters. If I'm elected, my decisions will be based on facts and what is in the best interest of students. I appreciate you attending tonight. Hopefully after this evening, you'll be able to make an informed decision on November 4th. and please vote for the buses.
That concludes our questions to the candidates for this evening. We'll remind the television audience that this broadcast will be aired 4 consecutive days, not consecutive days, but 4 days before the election. Friday, October the 24th at 12, 4, and 8 a.m. and p.m. Thursday and Friday, the October 30th and 31st at 12, 4, and 8 a.m. and p.m. And on Monday, November the 3rd at 2, 6, and 10 a.m. and p.m. The program is also available if you have DirecTV or something along those lines at watchctv.org and click on the tab that says Meetings tab. And immediately upon the completion of this broadcast, the bond issue video will be aired, and it'll give you a little bit more explanation of what the bond issue is and what you'll be voting on for in that issue. Quick reminder of the ballot. This is a sample ballot, and as I said, there's 2 sides to it. The front side is the governor and all of those races, state boards, et cetera, and all the judges. The important part for us in East China is the back side, so don't forget to turn your ballot over. In the section here on this ballot, there's the East China School District Board member. There are 5 candidates. You can vote for 2. Then the local school district issue, which is the millage issue, is listed here, and you vote there for that. So turn your ballot over. We thank you for tuning in tonight, and thank again the candidates. Personally, I want to thank you for even running. It's a difficult thing and a difficult decision to do that. You get a lot of flack from this side or that side or whatever, so how about if the audience will give them an applause for even running.
Thank you.
I'm Paul Dingaman. I thank you very much for tuning in. Until next time, we'll see you.
Hello, my name is Jim Bewer, and I am proud to serve as the president of the East China School District Board of Education. On November 4th, the district is asking its community members to consider a bond proposal so that we can continue to provide transportation services under the control of the district. If approved, it would raise the necessary funds to purchase approximately 25 school buses over the next 5 years. Let me share some information with you about the district's transportation services. Our school district covers over 126 square miles of St. Clair County. We maintain a fleet of 46 school buses. Each day, that fleet covers 52 morning, 6 midday, and 59 afternoon bus runs. In addition to those standard bus runs to and from school, district buses take approximately 550 field trips, band, choir, and academic competition trips, and athletic trips each year. All told, district buses traveled over 427,500 miles in the 2013-14 school year. The average lifespan for our school buses is between 12 and 14 years. With our fleet of 46 buses, we need to purchase between 3 to 4 buses per year in order to continue to provide the same level of transportation services that we are currently providing. In addition to purchasing 3 to 4 buses per year to maintain the fleet, we have some catch-up to do, as 13 of our buses will be 14 years or older at the end of this school year. People have asked me 2 important questions about this proposal. First, what will it cost me? Second, what will happen if it doesn't pass? With respect to cost, the proposal is expected to be 0.05 mils the first year and an average of 0.24 for the life of the bond. As an example, let's take a look at a house that would sell for $100,000 but has a taxable value of $50,000. Remember, the millage rate is applied to the property's taxable value, not its value on the market. Applying the 0.05 mils, or 5 cents per $1,000 of taxable value, to the $50,000 taxable value of this property, the cost in the first year would be $2.50. But this chart shows something very important to understand about your cost. Currently, the district is paying off two other bond issues, one from 1999, the other that was passed in 2009. Let me once again thank you for those previous bond proposals. Please look at the second column of the chart, which shows how the millage goes up from 0.05 mils to 0.39 mils in the fifth year, but then decreases over the remaining 4 years of the bond term. That same pattern is also occurring with the 1999 and 2000 bonds. As a result, and this is very important, if you look at the last column, that describes the total millage related to all bonds. Your bond millage will not increase beyond the year 1, and the millage goes down significantly between the 4th and 5th year when the 1999 bond has been paid off, and again after the 7th year when the 2009 bond has been paid off. The second most frequently asked question has been, what happens if the ballot proposal does not pass? Under the state school funding model, known as Proposal A school may submit a question to its community for funding to build or improve facilities or to make capital equipment purchases, such as technology or school buses. Therefore, if the proposal does not pass, to maintain current levels of busing, the district would have to use operating revenue and eliminate $200,000 to $300,000 of current academic, arts, athletic programs in 2015-16 and maintain those cuts each year to continue to purchase buses from the general fund. Another option would be to not use operating revenue, and as the buses were no longer safe or cost-effective to operate, don't replace them. Reduce the number in the fleet and provide less transportation by either expanding the walking areas or eliminate secondary school busing. Finally, a third option could be to enter into a purchase services contract with a private transportation company who would then operate all elements of transportation, including the purchase of buses and the hiring and establishing of bus routes. I hope this information has helped you to better understand why the district has placed this proposal on the November 4th ballot. Please vote on November 4th. Thank you and God bless.